this video is for 4 groups of people: those who have never cruised, 2, those who are thinking of cruising again. The third group is those who have already booked but are really kind of determining whether they want to go through with it or not. And 4, those who are already booked and excited, but they're just kind of wondering what it's like right now. So I want to start off saying that a cruise ship right now, in my opinion, is one of the safest places in our world. Everyone over 12 is vaccinated. Everyone has had a negative COVID test within the last 2 days. Everyone is wearing masks, everyone is social distancing, and the cleaning protocols are just off the charts for the cruise ships. There's nowhere you can go really right now to your Walmart or your Target or your grocery store or your football games, your children's soccer game, anywhere that you have all of those things. So let me say that right off the bat, because that's relevant to today's world. But moving right along, let's start with our first point: booking. Now, there are several things you need to know about booking that will help you determine whether this is the right time or whether you're maybe just not a cruise person. Now, I hate to say that because you know that JJ and I love cruising, and I would never want to discourage someone from doing it. But I have several friends who had to go on a cruise and then they realized that they're just not the cruise type. So that's one reason for this video. So number 1 is booking. Now, we've booked through the website ourselves directly. We've also booked with like a big travel agency conglomerate company online. And now we use a travel agent. I'm just gonna say I would highly recommend a travel agent. I will link in the description box our travel agent now. Her name is Cindy, and she is awesome. So if you're interested in using a travel agent, please get her links below and find out what she can do for you. The reason I encourage that is because there are so many things that especially newbies, but even those who may have cruised a while back, even 2 years ago, don't know. You've got all the new protocols. You've got do you know what an FCC is? It's called a future cruise credit. That's what they've done. If you cruised 2 years ago and now you have some future cruise credit hanging out there, do you know what that's about? The Air to Sea program. Have you ever heard of that? That's if you book your flights through the cruise line, then if something happens wonky with your flight schedule and you miss your ship, the cruise line will get you to the ship on their dime. All those things that you just might not know, that a travel agent especially one who specializes in cruises, will help you do that. So right now also, it's very important to know what the current protocols are to determine if you're going to book or when you're going to book. Right now, the majority of the cruise lines are requiring that those 12 and over be fully vaccinated. And what that means is that the last dose of the vaccine be 14 days ago. Now, whether you get vaccinated, whether you want to vaccinate your kids, whatever, that's a different issue. And I know that's highly debated. That's not what this video is about. So just telling you right now, it's very important for you to know before you even start the process, is that most of the cruise lines right now are requiring 12 and up to be vaccinated. It's also very important to know that if you have a child and that child turns 12 2 days before you get on the ship, sorry, you better look at a date further out so that your child can be at least 14 days before on their last shot before getting on the ship. So those kind of things are very important to know. Some of the cruise lines do have a non-vaccinated exemption process. Those spots go quickly for the cruise lines that have them. So get your paperwork in, get on that cruise's website, that cruise line's website, and check if they have that process and get in line. So that's good to know to decide whether and when you need to book. It's also important that some of the ports right now, Bahamas, US Virgin Islands, and the British Virgin Islands, all of those ports right now are requiring vaccinated passengers 12 and over. So sometimes it's not up to the cruise line. Sometimes it depends on your itinerary. So make sure that if there's someone in your party who's not vaccinated and doesn't plan to be vaccinated in time for a certain date, that you look at the different itineraries and you don't pick one of those islands, because you're going to have to be vaccinated for those. So that category of booking and knowing these things before you book or if you book is very important. The second category is pre-cruise. What do you need to know pre-cruise before you decide is this for me and my family? Do I even need to cruise right now? Do I need to ever cruise? Pre-cruise, you're required to have a negative COVID test. Right now, again, these protocols are changing daily. So please check the website for your cruise line. If you end up booking, you can check it every day, definitely every week, because these protocols are changing. But right now, the cruise lines require a negative COVID test 2 days prior to embarkation. And the embarkation day doesn't count. So let's say that you get on your ship, you embark on a Saturday. Saturday is day 0. And then you have Friday and Thursday, which is day 1 and 2 or 2 and 1. So you have Friday and Thursday to get vaccinated. And of course you have embarkation day if you have time to do that the day before you get on the ship. Another thing regarding pre-cruise to know about cruising is the things you have to purchase pre-cruise, like a Wi-Fi package, your dining packages, your beverage packages, and your excursions online. All of that needs to be done to get the best price pre-cruise. Land vacations, usually you don't have to do that. So it's something that people sometimes don't realize. You can get a better price if you go on Royal Caribbean, it's called your cruise planner. If you get on your cruise planner and you find a good sale, also know that if you purchase for whatever price and the price goes down later, you can cancel and rebook at the lower price. So don't let your imagination saying, is the price gonna go down later? Don't let that stop you from going ahead and book if you decide that you want to. But that's something important to know, that you need to go online and buy all those things beforehand, because you're gonna save money. The prices, once you get on board, will be higher. Excursions also. If for most cruise lines, if you are vaccinated and everyone in your party is vaccinated, you can purchase a third-party excursion. So you can just get online to Viator or shoreexcursions.com and find a shore excursion that you're interested in for you and your family. If there is someone in your party who's going ashore who's not vaccinated, then you can only go on ship excursions. So that's also something good to know before you cruise. That also, might change eventually. When the world changes, then these protocols are going to change. But our question today is, should I cruise right now? And also, should I ever cruise? So you may just be a not right now type cruiser, and that's okay. The third-party excursions, or any excursions actually, on a cruise ship are better to book beforehand, which is unlike a land vacation. And I learned this the hard way on one of our all-inclusive Mexican resorts. And you can see one of the trips up here in the card. While cruising was shut down, we went to a couple of different all-inclusives in Mexico, and it was really nice. But what I learned the hard way is I was so used to booking our excursions ahead of time for cruises that I got online before we went to Mexico, and I was looking for everything, and boy, I found excursions. Book it, pay for it, awesome. We're gonna go, right? Well, we got there, and when we learned that the taxi ride was almost more than the tickets there and back, we were like, what? We're spending like the same amount of money we spent on the ticket? We just ended up eating the cost. So it's very important to know that sometimes land vacations are more flexible. You can just decide when you get there. Well, you're probably gonna lose money or spend more money if you decide when you get there on a cruise. The third point is traveling to the port. So land vacations, you might always fly or you might always drive, depending on where you live. So you have to keep in mind, where is my port and where do I live? So how am I gonna get there? If you are going to drive, you're gonna have to pay for parking or decide where your car is going to be. There are some hotels who will allow you to keep your car in the parking lot for 5 days, 7 days, 10 days, however long your cruise is. Just know that those usually aren't secured and they aren't covered, of course. So no telling what happens in Florida or Texas or Los Angeles when you're gone on your cruise, the weather or whatever. So be conscious of that. Decide where am I going to park. There are all kinds of parking businesses around each port. So just go online and search for parking garages around Miami Cruise Port or parking garages around Galveston Cruise Port, or get on your Facebook page for your cruise or a Royal Caribbean Facebook page group and ask. People will be more than happy to give you advice. Or you can comment in the comments below this video and ask me, and I'll help you find parking options in whatever port that you're going to. But if you're going to fly, well, you may always fly anyway. And if you always fly to your land vacations, then this is no different from you, and this issue is a wash. You just need to know right now, obviously, if you're flying. What do we got going on with flying right now? We've got masks required in all airports and on all planes. We have delayed flights. We have crowded planes, and I mean full planes right now, every seat full. And of course, flying is an extra expense, and you have extra expenses for added baggage with some airlines. So just keep that in mind as to, we got trains, planes, and automobiles we're talking about here. I'm sure you could take a train to a cruise port. I never have, but we definitely have planes and automobiles that we need to think about before we decide, is this the right time for me to cruise, or am I just never gonna cruise? Surprise! So all 7 points was just too long a video, so I'm gonna break it up for you and publish part 2 next week. So if there's any part of this video that you've actually learned something from or that you've enjoyed, please smash the like button and hit the subscribe. That really helps YouTube know that viewers are liking the content, and it helps them push it out so that other people can learn too. Thanks so much for joining us, and be blessed.